wave, big. That's it. Hello, Stephanie. Oh, I love technology. Hold on. I'm going to grab my favorite, she would hate that I said this, Geek Squad person from the back room in 2 seconds. But as I'm doing that, I'm going to have, first of all, my back line. I need you guys to come up here. It's a small class, and it's like the vibes are just so much better when we're all up here together. And then Mark, you're in charge of passing these out to everybody, okay? I know, waving everybody hello. Anywhere where you guys are nice and close together. This is my demo mat. You can choose the front row. You can choose the U. I'll be back in 2 seconds, okay? I do also pinky swear promise to get you out of here at 1. Ah, fuck. L, wrong. Something's bad with the headset. Patricia probably. Figure out when Steph can hear. Do you need my headset? All right, excellent. Thank you.
You did turn it on, right?
I did turn it on.
Hey, Stephanie, can you hear me? Loud and clear? So there's nothing wrong.
This is the moment to drag one of your friends who doesn't do yoga but might want to do yoga, or you want them to do yoga. It's free. It's casual. We're not even in the studios. But you can drag them to this particular event. Very sorry for my dudes. Athleta does not sell male clothing. You can still come. If you have a female person in your life or somebody who likes female clothing in your life, you can bring them and buy things for them. But we'll have a class in their studio. And then afterwards, we have a little private shopping time there. They've got an awesome discount for us. But donations are accepted at the door. Anything that you do donate goes straight to Aim to Empower. So it's a nice little community class. Okay, now that everything is sorted out with my headset, thanks for your patience. I wanted to clue you guys in on what we'll be working on. So today, for this class, you'll need a block, a strap, and then a towel. So for Steph at home, anything that you can slide on. I'm using a towel in the studio because that'll make it possible to slide on this flooring. Socks work at home as well. Anything else in that variety. So what we're doing with all these awesome items is we're working on the root causes and general effects of bad posture. So it's that little hidden devil that exists all the time, causing pain in your neck, in your back. So essentially, when you stand or sit typing all day long, you start to get this sort of like hunch look going. What you're noticing there is tight hamstrings, the back of your thighs, loose quad muscles, a weak and inflexible hip flexor. These are going to be really important. And then also your low back pinches, your belly hangs loose, and your shoulders and head eventually migrate forwards until you and the Hunchback of Notre Dame are cousins, maybe even closer than that, siblings. But don't worry, we've got all of that in store today. Let's take child's pose. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, breathe all that air back out. Full breath in. Big breath out. One more time on your inhale and exhale. Breathe in, come to downward facing dog. Here's where I want you to start really listening to your body. Throughout all of these poses, and also throughout your day, you have to have this consciousness about the feedback and the sensations that your body is giving you. Bend your right knee, bend your left knee, stretch out your side body. Take note of all the different stuff that you're feeling right now so that we can use that throughout the rest of practice. Take one more breath in. Exhale. Walk your feet the whole way up to your hands. Halfway lift, long flat spine. Ragdoll fold. This is your first hamstring stretch, the backs of your thighs. Bring your hips forwards another 2 inches so that you've got weight in the ball mound, the knuckle of your big toe, and a huge stretch up the back of your legs. Press your heels into the ground, roll the whole way up to standing extended mountain. Exhale, drop your hands down to heart center. We'll start class today with one big Om. Take a breath in. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Chaturanga on your exhale. Up dog into downward facing dog. 2 breaths in and out. One more time, breathe in. On your exhale, bend your knees. Step or float, top of your mat. Halfway lift, fold. Extended, reach through your fingertips. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga, high to low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale. Down dog on your exhale. Take 2 breaths here. Press down through your pointer fingers into the mat. One more time, breathe in and out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain as you breathe in. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog into downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Start to find the flow of your practice, the vinyasa. Take an inhale. All that air back out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Extended mountain. Last one. Up and back. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths. One more time. In and out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Sit nice and low. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. Get super low in the lunge. So you're using the backs of your thigh. Exhale, hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Down dog. Left side, warrior 1. Breathe in as you reach up. Exhale, hands back down to the mat. Up dog. Into down dog. 2 breaths. Take an inhale. Sigh on your exhale. One more time. In and out. Move. Halfway lift. Fold. Chair pose. Spread your fingers. Fold. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Hug your low belly up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side, warrior 1. Front ribs hug into center. Exhale, hands to the mat. Up dog. Into downward facing dog, left side, warrior one. Flow right into the pose and back out. Up dog. Down dog. Take any size, big breaths that you need to. Press down through your pointer fingers into the mat. Last breath. Exhale, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold. Chair pose, low belly up and in, fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Flow up dog, down dog, right side warrior one. As you breathe in, exhale, hands to the mat. Up dog, into down dog, left side, warrior one. Pull your shoulders back, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. One more time. In, out, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold. Chair pose, spread your fingers, fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Keep your shoulders back through up dog, into down dog, right side, warrior one. Take cactus arms this time. Chaturanga, bring your hands back down. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side, warrior one. Elbows out. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, into downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Then we'll run through our last sun B. Here it is on your inhale. Exhale, feet to hands. Halfway lift, fold. Chair pose, sit nice and low. Allison and Steph, fold. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Move through up dog, drishti. Downward facing dog, right side, warrior one. Chaturanga. Up dog, into down dog, left side, warrior one, as low as you can go. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Yeah, take a breath in, sigh it back out. Bring your right leg up into the air. Press to the center of your heel, straight up to the ceiling. Bend your top knee, open your hip. Flip dog. As you're in this flip dog, start working both of your shoulder blades in towards the center of your spine. You're looking for an opening across your chest so that you can twist both sides of your chest up, open towards the ceiling, or for Steph, if you're practicing outside, towards the sky. Stay for one more breath here. Open through your right shoulder, back over high plank, into side plank. Now, side plank is all about your core, your belly muscles. Hug the front of your pelvis up towards your belly button so that you can scoop your tailbone underneath. Check it out just for one breath. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Hands to the mat. Upward facing dog. I'll admit I haven't said that before. Downward facing dog. Not sure if we'll be keeping it. Bring your left leg up into the air. Bend your top knee. Open your hip. Stretch. Then flip dog. As you land your feet down into the mat, start thinking about your left shoulder. Take a cactus arm. So bend your elbow, bringing your hand out to the side like you're carrying a tray. You're looking for the opening from your chest all the way into your shoulder. Stretch your pec muscle open here. For one breath, back over high plank to side plank. Core work. This is it. Eyes to the ceiling. Hug your low belly up and in. Front ribs hug to center. So you're locking in all your ab muscles to provide the support for this last breath. Hands down. Upward facing dog through to downward facing dog. Take right side crescent lunge. Nicely job. Nicely done. As you're here in this crescent lunge, get really low into it. What I want you to look for is the stretch in your hip flexor. So that starts at the top of your thigh and reaches the whole way up towards your belly button. You're only going to find this stretch if you're getting really deep in your front knee. When you found it, reach towards the ceiling. So what you'll find is if you start bringing your fingertips back just a little bit, looking up towards the ceiling, you might be able to get that stretch that starts in your hip to reach the whole way to your fingertips. Get as low as you can here. Really focusing on all the length, all the stretch that can come out of that muscle. For one more breath, bring your hands to heart center, and we'll twist to the right. Take 3 breaths here. Use your back quad, so the front part of your back thigh, to lift up towards the ceiling. So really activating this to then lift your left hip straight up. It'll happen as long as you're hugging in here, skin to muscle to bone. Last breath. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge into warrior 2. Now come here low in the lunge for warrior 2. I promise to stop saying that. But if you come down here 90 degrees in that front knee, as low as you can get, extended side angle is the pose that you've got next. So when you get down to extended side angle and you found all the depth that you can from your front knee, what's accessible is a new stretch from your back foot the whole way up to your fingertips. You can find this if you stay with your hand up towards the ceiling or if you take a half or full bind. Stay for 2 more breaths here. Let him go. Last one. In. And on your exhale, hands down, chaturanga, out of the pose. Upward facing dog. Into downward facing dog. Take a breath in and sigh it out. Breath in, sigh. We'll do one more of these, guys. In and sigh. Left side crescent lunge. Now you have this stretch up the front side of your hip. Adjust for that first. So find the stretch. Now bring your fingertips together and interlace them behind your back. What you're going to look for is to keep the stretch in the front side of your leg, but also to lift up through your chest. So pressing your fingertips down towards the floor is what's going to give you the access to that. That's it. Bring your drishti to the ceiling, to the sky, letting your shoulders come together and sliding down your spine. Your low belly is doing the work to support this stretch up and back. Last one. Bring your hands to heart center. Tilt forwards, twist left. That's it. 3 breaths in this pose. And I promise to actually count and only keep you here for 3. See, we're already at number 2. You've got 1 last breath in and out. Breathe in, rise up, crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Now, my pinky swear promise in Warrior 2 is that I'll never keep you here longer than the time it takes to get into the lunge. Nice and low as far as you can go. Extended side angle. Warrior 2 is like one of my least favorite poses. It's the pose where I really start going, I'm not sure I like you, and I'm not sure I like this class. But extended side angle always relieves that because this stretch is so good. Press the skinny edge of your back foot down into the mat and then reach through your top hand. Create all the length that you can here. Last breath. Hands to the mat. Chaturanga. Up dog. Through to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Sigh. One more time. In and out. Feet to hands. halfway lift, fold, chair pose. Nicely done. Heels into the mat, chair pose. Hug your low belly up. What happens here in chair pose is that usually people either go for a duck butt where they're letting your pelvis fall forwards, or they go for this super round chair pose. Look for a straight spine. Lift up through your fingertips and out through your hips. 2 more breaths here as you sit low into your heels. Last one, fold. Bring your feet out to the edges of your mat. Pointer fingers around your big toes and let your head drop down. Lengthen your inhales and lengthen your exhales. The practice is built so that you have times of really tough work, high energy moments, and also times to recharge your battery and to relax. This is one of those moments. So use it wisely. Bring your blocks with you. We'll go chair pose, round 2. So blocks between your thighs. This is my favorite for the twists because it really helps keep your spine at neutral by keeping your hips and therefore your knees neutral. So blocks right between your thighs. Sit down low into chair pose. Now I want you to hug into that block as tightly as honestly as humanly possible. Hug those knees together. Bring your hands to heart center. Twist to the right. You can choose to keep your hands closed or open them up. Stay for 3 breaths here at the twist. Let your Ujjayi breath cultivate the tapas, the heat in this pose. 2 more breaths. I know that was like the world's longest first breath. Last one. On your inhale, rise up, chair pose. Hands to heart center. Oh, Mark, twist to the left. I know, I got Mark and Charlie that time. 3 breaths, and I promise to count. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, rise up, chair pose. Fold. Bring your feet to the edges of your mat. Drop your palms underneath your toes and let your head drop down. Look to steady your breath. Transformation comes not by adding things on, but by removing what didn't belong in the first place. We change by peeling away all the toxic layers, emotional debris, and beliefs that we've added on over the years. We forget that there is something perfect already within us. Through years of habit and hypnosis, we took a wrong turn, and now we automatically look outside ourselves for something that will fix us. Oops. The hunching that you get, the weakness in your hip flexors, all that stuff that creates pain and frustration for you, it's built by time, by adding on the shoulder hunch, by continually sitting in a chair and finding that your muscles weaken over time, and that's normal, by the way. None of us get away with this. But what we start to do in a practice like this today is to draw away the pieces that don't belong, causing not only transformation for this class, for this 60 minutes that we're here together, but also for the rest of your day off of your mat. hopefully for the rest of your week. If you can build it into a habit the rest of your life. So that's really what I want to try to offer. Let's see if we can do it again. Crow pose. Last one. Here we go. Head of your mat. Got a squat. Headstand, handstand inversions work too. Let's go crow. 4, 5. That's it. 4. Low belly has to hug. 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga. Move through upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. Blow all that air out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Right side eagle. Before you go to this eagle, start by wrapping your arms first. What I want you to check is that your shoulders stay wrapped on top of your shoulders stay stacked on top of your hips. So come to a little squat in your left knee. Then wrap your right leg around. This is going to keep the alignment of your head to your shoulders to your hips so that you're staying stacked right up and down in the pose. You can add a little challenge by deepening the sit, not by leaning forwards, but just getting lower in your legs. Check it out how that feels in your body one last time. Switch sides. Left arm under, left leg over, shoulders back. That's it. Kate, see if you can bring your shoulders back. Ooh, there it is. Good adjustment. Stay for a few more breaths here. Flex your raised foot. Thighs have to actively press together here to make this work. Last breath. Rise up and out of the pose. That's it. You can shake your hands, shake your legs. Let's go for a chair pose. Charlie, you're good where you are, I promise. Chair pose. Don't worry, I'm using this as a transition. We won't stay here. Come 4 inches lower. Come 6 inches lower and sit down onto your back. Roll the whole way onto your spine. So what you're looking for, right side eagle. Right arm wrap under, right leg wrap over. Feel the stack that you get, the back of your head pressing into the mat, through to your shoulders, the whole way down to your hips. Feel how all of that comes together. And then when your legs are pressing this hard, your core is really active. Like you can definitely hear your belly button pulling down to the mat. Guess what? Your core should always be active in equanimity. It's the foundation for these balancing poses. Switch side. Left arm under, left leg over. So what I've found in my practice, feet flexed, is that when I'm not getting the core work and equanimity, specifically in eagle, it usually means that my shoulders are too far over. So they're stacking above my knees instead of my hips. So check it out. Press those legs together for a last breath. Inhale, lay long on your mat. Arms up overhead. Legs long. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're going to move to right side, standing leg raise on your back, on your mat. So you'll need a strap for this pose. If you don't have one, I'm coming around with that. You got it? Excellent. So hug your right knee up into your chest. You're going to want to make sure that both hips are staying flat on the mat. Bring your strap around the ball mound of your big toe, or reach your big toe with your fingertips. Everybody's got that? Nice job. Press your left hand down into your left hip. So this is going to act as a reminder. You can't physically press down through your hip with your hand to keep it there, but it's just a reminder, hips even. Drop your leg to the right, keeping both hips on the ground. Your low belly has to do the support for this movement, otherwise both hips won't stay anchored. That's it. Press through your heels, flex both feet really hard. Bring it back up through center. Now place your straps, both sides of them, into your left hand and drop your knee over your leg over the left side of your body. You're looking for a stretch up the outside of your leg. The low back pinching, here, come back over here. Both hips stay anchored on the mat. No, hold on. Let me help you out with this. Now, grab the strap with this hand. That's it. And as you keep this hip anchored, yeah. So you're getting a stretch up the side there? Okay, good stuff. Now breathe. When you get that pinching right at the base of your spine between your hip bones right here, that's your sciatic nerve getting stretched, getting pinched, being uncomfortable. This is one of those stretches that can really help create new space in your low back. Inhale, bring your leg back through to center, and then we'll swap sides. Extend your right leg. Bring your left knee up into your chest. Strap around the ball mound of your left foot. Right hand to your right hip. Press it down into the mat. Let your leg drop to the left. In this opening, keep both feet flexed so that you're hugging into center line, even here. That's it. So Kate, press this ankle straight back into my foot. You've got it hugging into center line. That's it. You've got it. Press as hard as you can. Last breath. Inhale, bring your foot back up into center. Bring your strap into your opposite hand. Oh, sorry, around your foot. And then drop your foot over the opposite side of your body. You're looking for the outer stretch along the outside of your leg. Honestly, when I get into this pose, I can feel it the whole way from my ankle, down the outside of my leg, across my hip, into my lower back. It's a place where I get a lot of tightness. Keep breathing here. As you breathe and think about one specific muscle or one specific place in your body, your breath will actually help you relax those muscles, relax the ligaments, everything else that's connecting and causing that pulling sensation. On your next breath in, bring your leg back up to center, and now hug both knees into your chest. Don't worry, straps can sit to the side of the mat for now. Rock head to toe 3 times, and on that 3rd time, we're going to come to all fours. There's so much to learn in modified equanimity when you do it on the mat. We're going to come to airplane. So get a long, straight, neutral spine. Bring your right arm up like an extension of that long spine. Protect it by hugging your low belly up and in. Then extend your left leg. Look to keep a straight line so that you're not reaching your hands and feet up, causing a cow belly, or dropping them down to cause a cat belly. One strong, straight line. This always feels like a superhuman to me, a Superman. Here, look. Press into this palm. Nice job. Press down. I got you, Kelly, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swap. Bring your hand down to the mat. Left hand out this time. Right leg back. Charlie, I'm coming in to do the same thing to you. Press down into my hand. You've got this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your hand down to the mat. Nice job. Let's move to dancer. Or, sorry, half moon. Pop your right forearm down onto the mat. Your right foot is going to act as a kickstand in this pose. Lift up towards the ceiling. Hug the front of your belly up and in. And it's okay, sometimes the balance of this pose is a little bit tricky. Look to lift through your top fingertips. You can even bring your drishti up to the ceiling for one more breath. Hands down. Yeah, you've got it. And Mark's got the right way to get out of this pose. If you start to fall, go with the fall. It's so much easier if you just agree. Bring your left hand down, left leg kickstand, lift up through your right hand and right leg. Honestly, I've done this pose a lot of different times, and some days it still catches me off guard. See if you can really stack your hips one on top of the other. Front ribs hug in, last breath. Bring both knees down. Lie onto your spine. We're going to go for our last one in the whole of equanimity, which is tree pose. Yes, we're skipping dancer today, and that's okay. So, tree pose. Bring your foot up to your inner thigh, your shin, or your ankle. The whole trick for this tree pose is keeping your right leg up off the mat. If your right knee is dropping down onto the mat or your right thigh, you're not using your core here. So how you're going to engage your core is by hugging in through your thigh into your foot and then pressing your foot back into your thigh. Here, Heather, press your ankle against mine so that you're really hugging into center line. Yeah, you've got it. Just hugging in, hands to center or reach them up overhead. Feet flexed. 2 more breaths here. Get as long as you can. Keep the hug into center line. Last breath. Exhale and switch sides. Left leg up. Last one, tree pose. Here you go. Active legs. Naked elephant. Low belly pulling down towards the mat. Keep your left knee up off the floor. That's it, Steph. Really press through your leg. Press through your foot, Allison. You've got this. Legs out long. Hug your knees up into your chest. We're going to rock 3 times, head to toe. Come to downward facing dog. Once you get through, of course, to down dog. Right side triangle. Nicely done. Blocks or hand right behind your front ankle. So out to the exterior of it instead of the interior. You've got this, Kelly. No, you were right the first time. Now activate both legs pressing into the mat. Look to scoop your right butt cheek underneath of yourself. I know, there's really no better way to describe it, but when you get that scooping action, what happens is that you're actually integrating your legs, which makes it a lot easier to create the core support necessary to lift up and out through your top fingertips. So, front thigh, draw it back up in towards your hip. Tuck your butt, low belly hugs up and in to lift through those top fingertips. On your inhale, reach up through your hand, come to standing, and we'll take side facing, wide-legged forward folds. That's it. Fold the whole way down towards the mat. You can go for the bind here or a new fan favorite at the studios, which is walking your fingertips forwards off the mat and creating a long straight spine from your fingers the whole way into your hips. Front ribs hug into center. Let your head and chest drop down through your hands. Take one more breath here. On your exhale, really fold. And on your inhale, walk both fingers over to the front of the mat. We'll take half split or full split variations. So this is another spot. Scooch the whole way up to the front of your mat. Oh yeah, you too, Kate. The whole way up so that your front heel is sitting over top of the mat. Now this is an awesome spot to use either your towel under your heel, If you're at home, a sock on some like wooden floors works beautifully too. But what you want to be able to do is have a little bit of slide here. Have a second block. 2 blocks make this pose way just more supported. The most important action is hugging back through your right hip crease. That hugging back is going to create length up the back side of your front leg. So we talked about tight hamstrings before. This is probably the most hamstring stretch that you'll get out of any pose. If you start to feel like you're ready for more, you can begin to slide your heel forwards. Maybe that's 1 centimeter. Maybe you've got a whole inch or even more space than that. If you find a spot where you're getting close enough to the floor, you can always tuck a block standing the long direction or any other direction underneath of your front leg to add some more support here. Flex your front foot, pulling your pinky toes back towards your face. Stay for another breath in. And on your exhale, sit onto your right hip and then swing both legs around. I've learned that's my easiest way to like get out of that pose because there's no cute way to do it. Move through down dog. We got to do the other side still. So from down dog, we'll move to left side triangle. That's it. Left foot up and through. Nicely done. So one of the most important pieces of triangle here, we got the front leg, that's good, very active, is the positioning of your back foot. Oftentimes what I see happen and how I used to practice too is having my back foot parallel with the back of my mat. So it's a straight line. What I discovered here is that it leaves your pelvis pretty open and your low back open. But instead, what you want to do is keep your heel where it is and slide your big toe up so that your heel, your whole foot, faces up towards your head just a little bit. This creates much more integration from your thigh bone up into your hip and is really going to help support your low back. That's it. So Kate, you've got a little more space in this nice adjustment. Mark, you've got it. Heather, Kelly, Charlie, all looking good here. A+. Allison, Steph, my friends at home, I'm coming to check this pose out for you. Allison, you can bring your back toe up a little bit farther too. So it's really lifting towards the front of your mat, looking in and up towards your head. Yeah, just the back foot there. So heel down. That's it. And rotate your foot up towards 12 o'clock. Yeah, that's a good adjustment. There you go. Everybody, on your next breath in, rise to stand. Take side facing, wide-legged, forward fold. Any variations that you'd like, whether that's upside down, ninja lunges, hands bound, all the options here. Obviously, this pose is a really great stretch of the back sides of your legs, the literal sides of your legs, your back, your spine. There are a lot of benefits here. Each exhale, find a way to get deeper into the pose. Whether that's a deeper fold, however it looks in your body. 2 more breaths. One more breath. And on your inhale, take your fingertips around to the front of your mat. Left side, half split, full split variations. Here we go. Left leg out in front, left knee back. Heel off the front of your mat. You thought I wasn't going to see this, but I did. Scooch to the front. Slidey thing underneath of your heel. Again, a towel, socks work. Actively pull back through your left hip crease. So part of pulling back through your left hip crease is ensuring that your body weight stays directly over center line. Keeps your hips in neutral too. So oftentimes what we see in this pose, the default, is to really come over to the side of your hip. Like, obviously, if I'm sitting over here like this, I'm somewhere near the pose, but like it's not quite there. So what you're looking to do is keep your whole body stacked right over top of the center. Usually for me, this means that there's a lot less split availability, but what does happen is a lot more integration, less chance of injury. Flex your foot. That one. Good stuff. Pull your heel back into center line. Stay for one more breath here. Then drop onto your left hip. Swing your legs around. We're going to come through to downward facing dog. From down dog, take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, roll to your high plank, using your belly muscles to create this movement. Inhale up to down dog. Exhale, roll to high plank. Really feeling your belly tuck here. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, high plank. 3 more times. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, high plank. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, high plank. One more time. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, high plank. Lower the whole way to the floor. We'll take floor bow round 1. Hands by your outer ankles. Feet flexed. Floor bow. Here we go. Feet active. Press back. What I really like to make sure is happening here in this pose is press your quads down towards the floor. Your knees down towards the floor. Then think about pressing back through your shins. See how that changes the pose for 3, 2, 1. Release. Drop your knees side to side. We'll go for second set. Hands back. Ready. Set. Go. Press. Lift. Move. Floor bow round 2. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down onto the mat. Knees can drop side to side. Let's take upward facing dog. Big stretch here in the lift, pulling your shoulders onto your spine. Knees onto the mat. Let's go for camel. 1 round today. Bring your blocks with you. So with your blocks between your knees, I like to do this little waddle to really get my knees tucked underneath of there so that I can hug in as hard as possible through your legs. So create that activity. You should feel it in the fronts of your quads, up through your hip flexors, into your lowest core muscles. Bring your hands to your back pockets. Lift the center of your chest straight up to the ceiling. You're going to have to keep that hug into center line active. This is what supports the lift so that you can lift up and maybe even back for a little back bend here. One more breath. On your inhale, roll up. Remove your blocks, sit down onto your ankles. And from here, roll down onto your spine, bridge pose. Press your heels into the mat. Lift up, bridge pose, round 1. So your legs are still really active here. Shoulders are one of the most important parts. They create the foundation of this pose just like your feet do. So get your shoulders tucked underneath of yourself. You want some serious square footage on the mat when it comes to your arms. Take a breath. Lower your hips down. Rock them right to left, knees right to left. Come through to center. We'll take bridge pose, second set. Press down, lift up, round 2. Here you go. Shoulders tuck, heels active. Tops of your thighs, quads active, hugging into center. Back down onto the mat. Knees side to side. So we'll just do one wheel today, or you get to choose to stay in bridge. So real quick, are you ready? Set. Press, lift, move, inhale, up into bridge or wheel. Round 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come the whole way back down onto your mat. A+. Good job, Mark. I saw that. Bring your feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Find long, deep breaths. Take happy baby. Hands by the outer edges of your feet and rock. Right to left, left to right. Love these guys back and forth. Bring your heels straight up overhead. Now lift your fingertips like you're trying to reach through your legs. You're going to curl your head and chest up over the mat, but on your exhales, see if you can pulse up a little bit higher. So breathe out as you do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock head to toe 3 times. 1, 2. On your third pose, come up and we'll, instead of boat pose, bring your legs down flat on the mat. Blocks the side one of your feet. You can choose right or left to start with. I like a little bit of extra support in this pose, so I bring my hands just behind me. But what you're looking to do is just bring your leg up and over, tap it to the other side, and back. Go back and forth for 10, 9, I know, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Drop it to the other side. We'll go back and forth. So we do a lot of hip flexor stretches, but the thing is your hip flexor can't just be like all loosey-goosey. It'll never work out for you. I think we're at 1. That's it. Hug your knees into center. Inhale. Reach your fingertips up. And on your exhale, fold towards your toes. I always like this after these. I don't really think it's a counter stretch for your hip flexors, but it does feel good. On your exhale, let your head and chest roll down towards the floor. Round out your spine. On your next breath, sit up. Move to downward facing. No, we're not going to do that today. Let's take fish pose. Blocks behind you. Shoulders together. Lie straight down onto your block. You want your block sitting right between your shoulder blades, up in your thoracic spine. So if your head doesn't quite hit the mat, I always recommend a second block here. Lift up real quick and bring your head back down to help support the crown of your head and your cervical spine, aka your neck. If you're somebody who feels like a really intense, not just uncomfortable, but something beyond that, feeling of stretch in your upper chest, it might be nice to start with a block that's half width. it's a little bit less of a force upwards. Or if you're at home, the best way to do this pose is to take a towel and fold it in half. Hamburger, by the way, not hot dog. And then roll it up so it's super thick and lie onto it that way. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, blow all that air back out. Keep big breaths going here. Full inhales, followed by deep, complete exhales. Gotcha. Take a breath in. Let it go. One more time. Inhale to exhale. Roll over to your right side off of the block. Make sure that your head and neck is getting supported here. And hug both knees into your chest. From here, drop your knees to the left side of your body, knees left. Eyes over your right shoulder for supine twist. Your knees up, drop them the opposite direction. For my yogis in the studio, there is a cold eye towel by the upper right-hand corner, and you're welcome to use it if you'd like. Hug your knees into center. Take Shavasana. Let your legs and arms go long, with your eyes closed. Transformation comes not by adding things on, but by removing what didn't belong in the first place. In and of themselves, the practices in this book and in this studio do nothing. The yoga does nothing. The meditation does nothing. The self-awareness exercises do nothing. Balancing your diet does nothing. Neither I nor any other teacher can give you a magic cure. Wait a second, you might be thinking. Then why should I do these things? Because they are a roadmap back to your center, back to your inner teacher, your conscience. The techniques are a way to the way, but they are not the end in themselves. They don't possess any power of their own. They're simply tools for excavation. We think that we have struggles and problems in life, but the only problem we have is a disconnection from our center. When we come back to self, all the other things begin to take care of themselves, and our lives begin to flow. Transformation comes not by adding things on, but by removing what didn't belong in the first place. Take a breath in. Exhale. One more time, in and out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees up into your chest. Rock onto the right side of your body, forehead on your mat. Your next breath in, come through to center. Rise up to a seated position. Inhale, fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands down to heart center. We'll close class with one big Om. Take a breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles up to forehead center. Together we bow our heads and we say, Namaste. Thank you all for joining, for coming here for class this morning. It was great to see you all. 10:03, not 10:03, 1:03. Kind of close, but not quite. On time-ish. Yeah, block.